Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. There is a din in Choshen Mishpat, Siman Shin Vav, about people doing their jobs and something happens and what they were asked to do, sometimes paid to do, did not work out as they wanted. And the question becomes, are they responsible to pay? Malpractice. So obviously back then it was a different form of malpractice. So let's discuss it as it's brought in Shulchan Aruch, and we'll see how today we can relate to this. So in Shulchan Aruch, Siman Shin Vav Seif Dalid, Hamaylich Chitim Litchain. Somebody was asked to grind wheat, and he ground it in a different way. Behema L'tabach. Someone was given the behema to shecht. V'nivla, and the behema became a nevela. So the halacha is, and obviously once it's a nevela, you can't eat the animal. So the halacha is, bischar, if this person was paid to do this job, chayavim l'shalom d'meyem. He's responsible to pay the damage. Im shachat bechinam, if however he did it bechinam for free, is im haya tabach mumcha, if he was an expert, if he was the regular shaychet in town, then he is pater. V'im einay mumcha, and if he's not an expert, he was irresponsible, and he took upon himself to do something that he's not capable, then he would be chayiv. Why bechinam? Or when he's a tabach mumcha, it's pater. So the Me'iras Hanayim writes, the kivan shehu mumcha, since we're dealing with somebody who is a mumcha, an expert. This mistake doesn't usually happen by this person. Amrinam, we actually turn the coin and we say, flip the coin, and we say, you know why it happened? The mazel de bala behema garamloi. The person's bad luck, the other person's bad luck, is that made this happen. Shabbat michsho zeliyadei. That's why he's not responsible for this fluke, for this mistake. So we see over here, mistakes happen. Somebody's going to end up losing money, and the question is, do we have right to punish or make the person who accidentally did this malpractice? Why am I calling it an accident? Because he's a tabach, he's a mumcha, he did everything right. We see that he's not responsible to pay. So the halacha is clear that for all damages that are done through a paid professional, he's pater to pay. There is an exemption. There is a yotzem and a kla, which is mentioned earlier in Choshen Mishpat, in Siman Chafei, about a dayan. A dayan who made a mistake, since what he is doing is on top of a job, he's also doing a mitzvah. So in Choshen Mishpat, Siman Chafei, Seif Beis, says he's exempt to pay. So the question becomes, what's the din of a doctor? Because a doctor, obviously, there's a parnasa involved. Obviously, they're getting paid, but at the same time, they're getting paid. As they're getting paid, they're being mekayim a mitzvah of verape yirape. So many achrayim taka say that since it's a mitzvah involved, and as I once mentioned before, just like there's a shaila in Shulchan Aruch, how a teacher, a malamed, is able to charge when he does a mitzvah of Talmud Torah, a doctor which does the mitzvah of Hashavas Aveda, he's giving back a person his health, how he's able to charge. So that their charging is for their learning, for their studying, for their like schar batola, as it's mentioned in Shulchan Aruch. But since he's also doing a mitzvah, so a medical practitioner, if he, Rahman al-Islam, made a mistake, and as long as he's a mumcha, as we mentioned in Shulchan Aruch, that means he's legal, he's able to perform this surgery or this medicine, he would also be pater. Some say that min hashamayim, he'll be chayiv min hashamayim for this fault. However, there is a difference in the act that he did. If, for example, he did something b'yadayim during a surgery, he made a mistake, there would be possibly a chiyuv midei shemayim. But if, however, he didn't do a ma'aseh biyadayim, he all he did was prescribe by mistake something wrong based on his diagnosis. He prescribed something wrong, being that he didn't personally cause the damage. It's something that we call grama b'nezikin. For grama b'nezikin, effect, a ricochet effect that caused the damage, that's not as severe as a punishment that he has to pay, and for that he would not be responsible. Again, that's only if he's licensed and he has the responsibility, he has the expertise. If he's reckless and he's taking upon himself to do things that he's not shaykh, for sure he's not. For sure he's responsible. And they say, the joke that they say in the name of the Kotzker Rebbe, that when the pasuk says, V'rapo yirape, and a doctor should heal, so the Kotzker Rebbe says, why does it say twice, V'rapo yirape? So the Kotzker Rebbe says, because most of the times when you go to a doctor, you got to come back for a second time. Because the first time, they're still in the process of diagnosing, and they make a mistake. There is a fascinating chiddush from Reb Zalman Nechemia Goldberg. Reb Zalman Nechemia Goldberg says that whether or not halachically the doctor is obligated to pay, that won't really make a difference today's days if the doctor has insurance. If the doctor has malpractice insurance and the law obligates that situation that the malpractice insurance should pay, the doctor cannot say, oh, I'll pay Torah and Pater and forget about it. I'm not going to allow the insurance to pay because my premium is going to go up. Once you're legally bound with a malpractice insurance, which is dina de malchusa dina, that's the letter of the law, then al pi dina de malchusa dina, you have to let the insurance pay whatever damages you might not even be responsible to pay.